Hello, welcome to my video. I wanted to show everyone my progress in Warhammer 40k, so please enjoy. I put together the Lionel Johnson model today, and I'll hopefully continue posting videos of just the different models and kits that I build leading into my first tournament here in a few weeks. Thanks for watching.
Alright, so I'm really impressed with the push to fit stuff. And I really like that I don't have to glue anything anymore, so we'll see. We'll see if that stays as cool on the big guys as it does on him. But what I actually want to record is that I'm finally opening the lion, so that I can build him, even though it's really scary to build him because I don't paint very well at all. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Alright. Let's see. Nice. Put that on here. Base. A bunch of little pieces. And some more bases. Ooh. I never use these, but I should. That'll be once I'm better at actually finishing models. Put it with the Leviathans. Alright. So, looks like this is the lion, along with this. And these three all appear to be the blade guards, which I'll do first. No, I'll do lion first. I'm more interested in that one anyway. Alright. Jeez, that's some serious glue it used on this packet. There we go. Alright. Ooh, so we have... Nice. What's that? Some fancy artwork. Which does not make it worth $200 or whatever else people are asking for. But I do want to start putting them together. From what I've seen online, is there's a spot that we can't get to on his cape if we put them together first. So I'm going to try to leave that apart, otherwise I'll mess it up and just have to do a bad paint job. But that is alright. So let's see. I'll find one. Oh, that is one. And I had bought some better dike cutters like this. And I couldn't find them, and these cuticle clippers were sitting by my bed, so I started using these, and I really like them. But I don't know if they're actually better. You still have to scratch off the lines from where it's connected to the sprue. Usually this knife that I found does a good job. I'm too lazy to actually buy a real tool or whatever I see at the store all the time. wonder if you guys could even see it. So what I'm trying to scratch off is there is a very tiny, right here at the end, a little burr almost of plastic. But most of the time it's just going to matter when I go to paint, but sometimes it's in the way of gluing pieces together. 1, 2, and 3. I guess I should show you what I'm doing. So, on the instructions it tells you which numbers to do, which I learned because my first Hellblaster kit, I got excited and I just clipped out all the little pieces. And then I found out that they don't all go together equally and that like each unit has a specific angle for each piece. So that made me feel stupid, and I'm pretty sure I still have some of those guys messed up. But it works. It's just like an arm is off balance or it doesn't look fluid with the rest of the model. But I'll go ahead and get this guy clipped off here. 1, 2, 3. Let's clip that guy off. Sometimes there's like nothing to actually take off, but I kind of force myself to run over every spot with the blade just to scratch it off. I used to use a razor blade, but then I cut myself and I realized I didn't need to be using that. I think that's why the official tool doesn't even have a sharp edge, because you really don't need a sharp edge to smooth off the lines. Oh, jeez. I wonder if I ruined my super glue. I had to go to the store and buy it. But I decided I wanted to finish a video tonight. Yep. I guess I ran and locked my super glue somewhere. Alright, so it says I've got to glue just a tiny bit so that this guy can come on there. It's a very specific tread pattern, I guess, on his foot. Alright, and this guy. So, this guy's going to go in right there. Not bad. Right. There we go. We got it on. So, throw this back. Then we need number 4. I'm sure it's boring for someone to watch. When you're doing it, it's very exciting. But I'm sure for people watching, it's not that amazing. So that guy, nice. Whenever something seems to be held on pretty well by its own, I'm trying to get better at not gluing the crap out of it, because I've done that on other models and it looks hideous because the glue just comes out of everywhere. But, alright, now we need 6, 7, and 8. Ooh, I skipped number 5. They don't always go in order. They trick you sometimes, like this one acts like it's going in order. But I'm almost positive it's not going to stay going in order. Because at some point you have options or whatever. Let's see. Alright. Let's see. This guy. This piece comes in right here. Kind of odd piece, but there's another spot where, let's see if I can show you. So if you look, this little piece is going to sit right in this opening right there, but the seam where that connects right there, you probably can't tell on the video unless I had a much cleaner camera, but this has a little bump that it's not catching. Alright, so what I was attempting to show is where this seats up. It's almost perfect. It would be, rather, except for there's a little bit of a burr left on the cape. It may not even be noticeable. I could probably get away with it, but because I can, I'm going to scratch that out. Then really don't need much drops at all. There was a burr on this side as well as on that side, which I did not realize is probably what was making it look so strange. I get really impatient with super glue. Which is why I bought this stuff. This Insta-Set spray. I think it just is relabeled for whatever your local game store is. But this one, geez, the light makes it horrible to see. But it's just called Insta-Set. And when I get really tired of the super glue not holding, you can spray that on, and within less than a second it will hold everything in place for you, which is great. Right, so this guy goes on the back here. Oh, I had it upside down, that's why. we go. He pops in there very neatly once you actually pop him in. But I had him upside down so he could not pop in. Then, according to this, we'll just go right in here. Ooh, this cape is going to double over. So I think that might be the spot that people are saying you miss if you don't paint it first. So this guy comes in here. When you put him in, you end up with some overlap right here, where this robe covers the other robe. But I'm not worried about that because it looks like I can still get everywhere I want to get paint-wise. And I'm not doing a show quality paint. Actually, even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't. But that's not the point. Right. So we get some here. Right. So he sits in a little spot pretty well. I'm just going to let that glue sit for a moment. Then, got to get number 9 out. Number 9, which is this weird, random piece of robe. With how well all these are fitting, I'm going to pay a little more attention to the little plastic burrs, because a lot of these seem to be lined up really well. And when they have the little bumps on them from where it was connected to the sprue, it's not going to seat up very well. Alright, so it looks like this goes in the front there. Yes, it's like a second robe inside of his robe. Okay. That makes sense. So we're going, let's see, I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, that's essentially how it's going to end up looking after that little piece. So I got to glue that in. But number 2, really worried about putting too much glue in some of these spots. So we'll see. There's a fairly flat surface here. I think that's going to be enough to hold it in place. Oh, nice, and there's a spot right at the bottom where you can see that it should make contact with the rest of his robe. Of course, there's a tiny crack right there, but you can still see that that's where it's supposed to line up to, so that at least helps ensure you have it up all the way. I just noticed a big burr on his feet that I never scratched off. You see it there. I mean, the big one is supposed to be there, but on his heel there's another one. Alright. So now we move on to piece 10, which is no longer on this sprue. Ooh, it's chest plate. Alright. You know what? I have another camera up here. Oh, good. I wasn't sure if that one was recording. Hopefully I can get some images of what I'm doing. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how this is all going to work. But, oh, beautiful. Okay. So, it sits in place fairly well. Got this piece. And this guy pops right on it. Kind of folds over and hides a few spots and a couple different points to put glue on. They always have so many spots, but I never like to use too many. I usually just do one or two of them. I try to just touch it with a little bit of glue. But who knows? Maybe that's a horrible idea, and maybe it's going to fall apart eventually. It's alright. Nice. So it clicked in place pretty well. The glue's holding him there. And then once it fully hardens, he should be pretty set. Alright, 10. Let's go to 11, 12. Oh, 11 and 12 might be back on this. Nope. Oh, here we go. The shield. Alright. Not seeing 12. Ooh. It's his weapon. Arma Luminis or something like that. Alright, so the instructions say that the one, oops, should have just left it. Says that the one shield is kind of on his hip. So it's just, oh, I see, it's just like an extra plating on his leg mail, or leg armor. There's a little plastic square that slips right into spots so you know where you put it in the right spot, which always makes it a lot easier. Now I did just put this guy together from the Leviathan box, and all of the push to fit without having to glue is pretty amazing. So I'm pretty happy with that, and I think if that's the direction they're going, I'm much happier not having to glue things into place anymore. But for now, I will keep doing it, because we have to. Alright, so this guy essentially hides that crack that I was showing you all earlier. And so that's pretty convenient. So even if you do kind of mess up on that weird spot that has too much too much of a burr, it's pretty forgiving because the pistol covers that whole section. However, there we go. So it does have a couple little grooves that really make it fit into place. So once you find where that is, I'm a lot more comfortable just pushing the piece back on. It just takes a minute to find that groove that it goes into sometimes. Now that's there. Very confident with it. Move on to Ooh. Screw it. More cloaks. So all these cloaks, I'm going to just put on. If you're being careful, you probably should do them in order. I think what I read was this. Actually, no, you know what? I think this cloak is easy to cover up. There's one shoulder shawl piece coming up, number 17, and that piece looks to be the one that you can't get underneath without kind of doing a bad job of painting, but I'm okay with that. 13, 14, 15. We've got 13. And 14. 15. Now, I've only been doing this for a few months, so I'm kind of spoiled, and I expect everything to be as nice as, the Leviathan kit or Azrael or this model here. So I'm sure people who've been doing this longer have experienced potentially uglier molds or just like worse design or things that were a lot harder to work on. I did a resin Tech Marine with the Servitors kit. One, because I love that Tech Marine more than the Primaris Tech Marine, but also just because it was at my local hobby store. And it wasn't the worst, but I can see why resin models are a huge pain in the butt to edit, because essentially after you buy them, there's a lot of little pieces that you seem to have to scrape away or cut clean or almost completely reshape in some instances for I think that's called fine cast. But I am happy to be playing with the models that we have right now. Alright. So let's see, it says that we put together his cape first. One thing I should note here. So on this, there's this tiny little piece, and it looks like the piece that connects it to the sprue. You can tell that it's not, so I didn't cut it off. But if I hadn't been paying attention or was newer to this, I would have totally cut that piece off. And that piece is what connects it to the inside of this piece so that you have a more solid connection instead of just the flimsier piece down here. But in the end, I'm sure it's not the end of the world, and plenty of people have probably cut it off before, but right. So I'm only gluing it up there. It's saying I could glue it all the way along that. I think it's fine either way. I'm attempting to be as frugal as I can with the glue in case there's whatever a need to remove it. Can't imagine why, but I like to be paranoid and do stupid things. I see like this one is not lining up very well. There must be some burrs that I did not remove. see some burrs, so I'm removing them, but they're not where it's contacting it, so I'm not really sure what made that not line up. Let's look at this again. Where those lines up, it's going to go right in here. I guess it's not hypercritical. So just right here, there's where this seam is. It just doesn't seem to line up perfectly, but yeah, I don't think that's going to change anything for how I'm doing it. Alright, so that guy's all glued in, and then we'll glue him onto the back. Man, that's awesome looking. So we'll do this. Where? I think that's enough. Alright. Super close. You know, to not even being halfway done. Let's see. So now let's get 16 on here. So it's got this little burr right here. So I'll remove that, smooth it over so it looks like that. But alright, then this is just going to glue right there. Nice. Oh, it goes underneath the there's little spikes on the skulls of his chest, so it needs to go underneath those. There we go. Slipped right into place. Alright, 17. And maybe 17 wasn't what I'm thinking of, because 17 is his lion's pelt. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about half the time anyway. It works out. Nice. Right, so this, that's all pretty well. So it meets up underneath this shoulder panel here. There's pauldron. And then there's a seam right there where it clips into, which is really nice when they make it kind of idiot proof. 18, 19. This guy is really annoying because right on the corner of his pauldron, there's supposed to be a rivet, which is also right where the sprue connects to it. So in cleaning off the mess, I'm very likely to remove that rivet because I'm not paying enough attention, or I'm not good enough at being cautious. But yeah, looks like I just got it. And hopefully that's a minor location. Like, as long as it doesn't look hideous or mess with where things connect, it really doesn't bother me as much. But we'll see. Alright, so 18 goes on this side. Huh. 18 goes on that side. And the lion goes on that arm. Perfect. Something's not clicking, which always bothers me. There we go. When you don't feel that it's actually going into the position that it should be, or like getting caught in the position, it always makes me think I did something wrong. Oh, I see. I'm trying to glue it from the top of the shoulder, and you can't. You have to glue it from this back surface because the shoulder pauldron is supposed to glue on to that back piece, and then that leaves some better shading and shaping of where his arm is. All right. I don't see 20. Maybe that's back on here. Yep. 20 here. That one ended up pretty gnarly. Alright, so 20, 21, and 23. Alright. So 21 goes on this hand. It's just a extension by his shoulder. Geez, not shoulder. Forearm piece here. Ooh, that slipped right into place. It scared me because it stuck. And I thought maybe the glue hardened faster than I expected it to. But nope, it's all good. And then we can get 23. It's gonna go right Here, nice. Okay. It's got a pretty good angle to it. It's got some grooves in his handpiece there to be able to control the direction of the shield holder, whatever you call that. Van brace? Maybe. I feel like that should be a van brace, but I might be wrong. Alright. Got this last guy. Goes right up here into his chest. Nice. Closer to being done than I thought. I guess I should have assumed that he's looking like a real person by now, which is awesome. Alright, 22 and 24. Ooh, 22 is the sword. Fealty. 24. I don't think the Emperor's Shield has a cool name. I think it's just the Emperor's Shield. But anyway. Nice. Alright. Alright. Alright, so let's see. And it's pretty set in how it will go, but I did just notice a very tiny burr on his wrist. It might just be color. Like I might not have to actually cut it off, but just to be safe, I'd rather not have a weird gap on his wrist. There we go. Nice. Seems to be held on pretty well. This guy will slot right in there. I'm sure people are cringing because it's going to be so impossible to get to the back of that shield to paint any of it. Like, I'll be happy if I get it metallic at all back there. But there's so many fine details on this guy. I don't think I'll be able to touch half of them. At least not well. But we'll get there one day. Alright. 25, 26, 27. Alright. So these guys have to glue together first. So let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's fairly simple. So they make these little grooves right on the back that clip pretty well right here. And then it will just hold in place. So I don't need to overthink that one at all. And that guy's there. And that guy's there. Those are both on there. Make it both. Just pop on this guy. Alright. Let's pop his head on. So I definitely don't like his face. Not only because it's impossible to paint faces, but also because his helmet is just amazing. So I'm going to use his helmet since we are at that point. 32. There we are. I think he's ready. Or, you know, ready enough. Let's see what else it says to do. It says we can put his head, the hood, all those different heads on, which are pretty awesome looking. But I think the closest I would have done is the hooded knight helm, where he has the metal mask on underneath the hood, but it is unnecessary for my purposes. So we'll finish up this base and move on to priming things. Yeah. Trying so hard not to stab my finger with my knife. I just stabbed it with this very pointy piece of the base right there. But anyway. I believe that's it. It says that this goes like it lays in here. It's not bad. Right. It's interesting to me that that wasn't already assembled, but maybe it's harder to have in here than I understand. Alright. So have you Stand there for the time being so I can put your watchers together. 39. Sometimes if I'm really not sure how I should cut it, I twist it off because this guy was very securely connected there. I'd rather scratch it off after the fact. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. And then 40, 41. Alright, last two here. There we go. Oh, I'm actually sweating. Turn on my fan. Alright. Alright, so this guy, 1441, they glue together. It's got a little hole with a circle and a little pin to center it, which is perfect. So it makes his legs a lot easier. Then his upper body has the same kind of centering divot. If I can actually hold it into place, it would probably stay. There we go. Yeah, so that holds that guy. Now, 243. Right. Now let's get all of these flowing tassels that I am horrified I'm just going to break. But let's see. So this guy's going to go here. These guys, oh, I mean, there's a hole. There's a pin for them. So it seems like they're dummy proof. You never know though. and they go in pretty well, so I'm hopeful. And we'll just glue those hands on. Nice. Yeah, so he gets his hands on, holding, I don't really know what kind of scepter that is, but I suppose that's less important. And then the next guy. Alright. What is number 38? It's a tiny, tiny piece of the scabbard. Like this tiny of a piece. Anyway. Let's see. Alright. Make sure I clean all this off. Alright, so let's glue him together. 36. I must have. There we go. There's a little bit of a burr right where the arms meet, and I didn't put any glue there. I think that was stopping him from staying. Oh yeah, there we go. Now he's holding all right. I do need to figure out how to put this piece. Alright. Keep sticking to my finger instead of to the scabbard. But that's what that tiny piece was for, was to make the other side of where the sword slides into the scabbard. The rest of it should be pretty clear. How does it slide on here though? Oh, here we go. Like that. Alright. Nice. So he's holding that guy. Now we can put all three of them in here. This has three little pins on the bottom, like these. So it's got these three little nubs. You can see right there, and right there. But when I go to put it on here, it raises it so it won't sit flat on the surface. It may be the intention, but I don't like it. So I'm going to clip all 3 of those off. Hopefully that's not causing any real problems. We'll see. Alright. So now it's a much more solid base. We'll see. Hopefully, there's enough room for this little guy. He's going to be snug in on the side here. I guess it's not actually. Maybe. We'll see if I can still get. Oh yeah, it'll come off still. Alright. Let's do this again. Alright. Alright. Right. Then, nice. Alright. There is. I don't even know if you can see it. Might not be able to, but I have him all assembled. Get him primed. Put some pictures up and get him painted.